Welcome to Infidelity Love, where every kiss hides a secret and every lie comes with a price. This is the home of forbidden passion, shocking betrayal, emotional twists, and stories that pull you deep into the world of love gone wrong. Here, hearts break, truths explode, and nothing is ever what it seems. So if you're ready for suspense, drama, and stories that hit you right in the soul, subscribe, stay close, and don't miss a single moment. Because at Infidelity Love, love always comes with a dangerous twist. Once upon a time, in a big white house with tall windows and shiny floors, there lived a man named Hollace Windrow. He was kind. He smiled a lot. He worked hard and bought nice things for his wife. His wife's name was Zerina. She was beautiful, but her heart was like ice. They had a housemaid named Clemira. She was young, quiet, and very smart. She wore plain clothes and tied her hair in a ponytail every day. She loved cleaning, cooking, and making sure the house was happy. But deep inside, Clemira saw things. She saw secrets. She heard whispers. She noticed things no one else did. Every day, Hollace kissed Zerina goodbye before going to work. But the moment his car left the gate, Zerina would change. Her sweet smile would go away. She would stop talking to Clemira. She would sit on her phone, whispering. Sometimes, she would wear red lipstick and go out, without saying where she was going. Clemira knew something was wrong. One rainy morning, as Clemira cleaned the windows, she saw something strange. A man in a dark car parked outside. Zerina walked to the car, looked around, then got in. The car drove away, fast. Clemira's heart jumped. "Why is Madam going into another man's car when Sir is not home?" she whispered. That night, Hollace came home with a big box. Inside the box was a golden necklace. "I bought this for you, Zerina," he said with a big smile. Zerina looked at it and said, "It's okay." She threw it on the couch and walked away. Clemira's heart broke for her boss. The next day, Clemira followed Zerina. She wore a hoodie and glasses. She walked behind the dark car without making a sound. It stopped at a hotel. Clemira watched as Zerina met the same man from before. He touched her hand. She laughed. They walked in together. Clemira ran home. Her chest was heavy. She wanted to cry. "Should I tell Sir Hollace? Will he believe me?" she asked herself. But Hollace had started changing too. He looked tired. He smiled less. One night he sat outside under the stars. Clemira walked close with a cup of tea. "Sir, are you okay?" she asked gently. Hollace looked at her. His eyes were wet. "I don't think Zerina loves me anymore," he said. That was the night Clemira decided to save her boss. Not with lies, not with hate, but with the truth. The next day, she placed a tiny camera inside a flower pot on the front table. Another one under the living room lamp. She used her old phone to record when Zerina talked on the phone with her secret man. She even recorded when the man came into the house one afternoon and kissed Zerina in the kitchen. Then Clemira made a plan. A big one. One evening, she invited Hollace to sit in the living room. She placed her little phone on the table. She pressed play. He listened. At first, he frowned. Then his hands began to shake. That's Zerina," he whispered. "That's her voice. That's not me she's kissing." He stood up. His face turned red. He looked at Clemira. "Why did you do this?" he asked. Clemira's voice shook. "Because I see you, sir. I see how kind you are. You don't deserve this pain. You needed the truth. You needed a friend." Suddenly, the front door opened. Zerina walked in, laughing on her phone. "Oh, don't worry, baby. He's so dumb, he'll never—" She stopped. She saw Hollace holding Clemira's phone. She saw the look on his face. And then, everything changed. But just before Hollace could speak, bang! A loud noise came from the back of the house. The lights flickered. Something was wrong. Someone had broken the back gate. Someone who didn't want the truth out. The noise shook the house. The back gate had slammed open. Hollace dropped the phone. Clemira jumped. Zerina's eyes grew wide like she saw a ghost. Did you hear that? Clemira whispered. Hollace rushed to the back door. Clemira followed. Zerina stayed frozen by the couch, her hands still holding her phone. The kitchen lights blinked again. Something moved behind the curtains. Clemira's heart was beating fast. "Sir, someone is in the backyard," she whispered. Hollace slowly pulled the curtain. Nothing. Then, crack. The kitchen window shattered. A rock rolled onto the floor. Tied to the rock was a small paper. Hollace picked it up. The paper said, "Tell no one, or I'll come for all of you." Clemira gasped. Hollace stared at the paper, his hands shaking. Just then, Zerina ran in, screaming, "Don't read it! Just burn it!" Hollace turned to her slowly. "You know who sent this?" Zerina stuttered. I just think it's dangerous." Clemira's eyes narrowed. "You're lying, madam." Zerina pointed at Clemira. "This is all your fault. You poisoned him against me. You sneaky little mouse." Hollace's voice was calm but cold. "Zerina, who is the man? What does he want from me?" Zerina's lips trembled. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. She looked at it. Her face turned pale. She didn't answer. Hollace grabbed the phone from her hand and answered, putting it on speaker. A deep, rough voice spoke. "You didn't listen. Now I'm inside." Click. The call ended. Clemira screamed. She ran to lock all the doors. Hollace checked the cameras from his phone. One camera, black screen, another static. Only the front door camera worked. Zerina dropped to her knees. "I didn't mean to do this," she cried. "I didn't know he would follow me here." "Who is he, Zerina?" Hollace demanded. She covered her face. "His name is Dexton. I met him online. He said he loved me. He told me you were boring. He told me I deserved better. I believed him." Clemira's voice was low. "Did you tell him about the money?" Zerina nodded slowly. "I told him about the business, the savings, everything." Hollace's fists tightened. "So he's here for the money, for me." Suddenly the power went out. Darkness swallowed the house. Clemira grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen drawer. "We need to hide," she whispered. "Now!" Zerina cried louder. "It's all my fault. I brought him into our lives." "No," Clemira said. "You brought a shadow." But shadows disappear when light comes. They hid in the pantry. Clemira held the flashlight. Hollace had a baseball bat. Zerina hugged her knees, still crying. Outside they heard slow footsteps. 1, 2, 3. A knock on the pantry door. Then a voice. "You can't hide forever. Knock, knock, knock." The pantry door shook gently as the deep voice echoed again. "You can't hide forever." Clemira's hands shook around the flashlight. Hollace gripped the bat tighter. Zerina whimpered like a scared child, her lips pressed together so she wouldn't scream. Clemira whispered, "Sir, if he opens the door, swing. Don't think, just swing." Hollace nodded, his eyes dark with fear and fire. The doorknob turned, click, click, but it didn't open. It was locked. The voice chuckled softly. Then footsteps walked away. Silence. Clemira listened hard. Nothing, just breathing. Then her flashlight blinked. 1 blink, 2 blinks, then black. "No, no, no," she whispered, hitting it gently. "Don't die on me now." Darkness, pure and full. Then they heard something, a scrape, a whisper, a footstep. It wasn't at the door. It was inside the pantry. Clemira turned fast. Hollace spun around. In the far corner of the pantry, behind the bags of rice and flour, a loose board in the wall had been moved. There was a hole big enough for a man to crawl through. Clemira's breath caught in her throat. Hollace moved slowly toward it, but then a hand reached out from the hole, a hand with a long scar across the knuckles. Clemira screamed. Hollace swung the bat. Crack! The hand pulled back just in time. The bat slammed into the wood, splinters flying. Zerina crawled backward into the shelves, knocking over a jar of sugar. It smashed on the floor. Her dress got soaked. Suddenly, Dexton's voice came from the hole. "You're smarter than she told me, Hollace, but I always like to challenge," Hollace shouted. "What do you want, Dexton? Why are you in my house?" Dexton laughed. "Everything. Your money, your name, your wife, but now, I think I want your maid too. She's brave. I like brave." Clemira's blood went cold. Zerina looked at her with wide eyes, now full of regret. Clemira stood up. She wasn't shaking anymore. She spoke clearly, her voice strong. "You'll get nothing, Dexton. Not from him. Not from me. Not from anyone in this house." The hole went quiet. Then Dexton whispered, "Then let's make it a game." Bang! A loud crash echoed in the kitchen. Dexton had left the hole. He was back inside the house, and he had broken something big. Clemira looked at Hollace. "We can't stay here." Zerina grabbed Clemira's hand. "Please, help us. I didn't know he was this crazy. I didn't know he'd come this far." Clemira nodded once. "You made a mess. Now I'll help clean it." They slowly opened the pantry door. The hallway was dark, but moonlight peeked through a cracked window. Glass on the floor, chairs pushed aside, the front door wide open. But Dexton was nowhere in sight. Until they heard, "Eeny, meeny, miny," a voice from upstairs. "Mo, Mo." The voice faded, but its weight stayed in the air like smoke. Hollace held the bat close to his chest. Clemira stepped into the hallway first, barefoot now so her footsteps made no sound. Zerina followed, her hand gripping Clemira's dress like a scared child afraid of the dark. Clemira pointed toward the front door, which stood wide open like a trap waiting to snap. "No," she whispered. "He wants us to run that way. He's watching." They turned left toward the basement door. Clemira had hidden there once when she was new to the house, just to cry when Zerina shouted at her. She knew there was a small window in the back, big enough to squeeze through. They crept through the kitchen, stepping over broken glass and splattered orange juice. Then, suddenly, "Creak!" A soft creaking noise came from above them, the sound of slow feet walking on the wooden floor. "He's upstairs," Hollace whispered. "Now's our chance." They moved faster. Clemira opened the basement door gently. "Eek!" The old door groaned like it hadn't been opened in years. "Shh!" Clemira whispered to it like a baby. They slipped inside one by one. Hollace closed it behind them but didn't lock it. That way Dexton wouldn't know they were down there. They climbed down the old wooden stairs. It was cold. Dust danced in the air like tiny ghosts. Boxes filled the room. Old photo albums, broken fans, and a rocking horse from when Hollace was a boy. Clemira went straight to the back window. She started pushing it open. It was stuck. She pushed harder. Zerina helped. Come on," she whispered, now sweating from fear. Suddenly, thud, the sound of the basement door slamming open. "Where are my little mice?" Dexton's voice sang out. Clemira froze. Hollace raised the bat again. Zerina covered her mouth so she wouldn't scream. They could hear Dexton stepping down the stairs, one creaky step at a time. "Clemira," he whispered. "Come out, brave little girl. I have something for you." Clemira's heart pounded like a drum. Then she saw something. A bottle of old cleaning acid under the shelves. She grabbed it. Hollace whispered, "If he gets closer, splash it in his eyes." She nodded. Then Dexton stepped into the room. His eyes searched the darkness. He held a sharp metal crowbar in one hand. "I don't want to hurt anyone," he said in a calm voice. "But I will, especially you, Zerina. You lied to me too." Zerina shook her head, tears falling. "Please, don't." But Clemira stood up from behind the boxes. "No more hiding," she said. Dexton turned fast. "There you are!" He stepped forward, smiling. But Clemira didn't wait. She threw the bottle of acid. Splash! It hit Dexton's shoulder. He screamed in pain as his shirt melted and smoke rose from his skin. Hollace ran at him and swung the bat. Bam! Right across Dexton's arm. He dropped the crowbar. But Dexton still moved. He charged forward, grabbing Hollace by the neck. They wrestled, crashing into shelves. Zerina screamed. Clemira looked around. Then, click! She saw Hollis's old toolbox. She grabbed a wrench. She ran up behind Dexton. Wham! She hit him in the back. He groaned. Wham! Again. He fell to the floor, groaning, shaking. Hollace coughed, holding his neck. Zerina ran and held him. Clemira panted, holding the wrench tightly. Then, suddenly, Dexton smiled from the floor. "You think it's over?" He pulled something from his pocket. A phone. He pressed a button, and then, from upstairs, they all heard it. Beep, beep, beep. 3 red lights blinking. Something was upstairs. Something worse than Dexton. Beep, beep, beep. The 3 red lights blinked faster and louder. Hollace grabbed the phone from Dexton's hand and saw a screen flashing. Countdown started, 3 minutes. Clemira's eyes widened. "It's a bomb." "He said a bomb upstairs." Dexton laughed through the pain. "If I can't have what I want, then nobody can." Zerina screamed. Hollace yanked her up and shouted, "We have to get out, now!" Clemira dashed to the tiny basement window again. She pushed, hit, kicked, and it finally popped open. She squeezed through first, cutting her arm on the rusty edge. She didn't stop. Then she helped Zerina out. Then Hollace. "Come on!" Clemira yelled. They ran through the backyard, bare feet stepping on cold grass and sharp stones. Behind them, boom! A loud explosion rocked the house. The windows shattered. Fire burst through the upstairs window like an angry dragon. Smoke rose into the sky. They fell to the ground, coughing, shaking, crying, but they were alive. Sirens screamed in the distance. Neighbours ran out. The police and fire trucks came fast. Dexton didn't make it out. He died in the flames he started. Later, under a warm blanket, Clemira sat beside Hollace in the back of an ambulance. Zerina sat quietly on the other side, staring into space. Hollace looked at Clemira. His voice was soft. "You saved us. You saved me. You were the light in this darkness." Clemira nodded slowly, tears in her eyes. "You were kind to me when no one else was. I had to protect that kindness." Zerina whispered, "I'm sorry. I let a lie destroy everything good in my life." Clemira didn't answer. She just looked at the sunrise peeking over the burning house. Moral lesson: lies bring danger. Truth brings safety. Kindness is more powerful than beauty or wealth. When you let wrong people into your life, they may burn down the good things. Bravery doesn't wear a crown. It holds a flashlight in the dark and fights for what is right. Thank you for watching. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching and supporting my videos. Your time, your comments, and your love mean everything. Every view, like, and share keeps this channel alive, and I couldn't do it without you. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps bring even more passionate, emotional, and unforgettable love stories to life. Stay tuned for more drama, romance, and unexpected twists. Until next time, keep loving, keep feeling, and keep watching. Much love, Infidelity, love.